Hey everyone, Ben here and welcome for only the second time ever on the channel to Sebring. We're here in the GT3 Fix Challenge for a 20-minute sprint race on iRacing, and you can see from the qualifying results just how closely matched this field is. We came in 12th place in qualifying, but just another couple of tenths we'd have been into the top 10, and that has to be the aim in this race as we're just getting towards the end of the formation lap. But what's going to follow is a hugely controversial start to this race. The lead driver backing the pack up and really holding us for an eternity. That is going to cause carnage behind me. Look in the rearview mirror, multiple cars collected together as there just wasn't space on track as the pack was concertinaed together. We'll look at that in a little while on replay to just get underneath what happened there. For now, my eyes are focused forward, trying to stay safe on this opening lap. We get through T1 in one piece, and I'm now just following the pack of cars ahead. We've got a decent gap back to Kerry Nolan Jr. behind, and I'm just hoping to keep my nose clean through this very technical opening sector of the lap. Everybody giving each other space. It looked like one driver on the right hand side was rejoining the circuit there, and yes, we've got a Porsche running slow on the right hand side. That's Sebastian Schell's there, and it looks like JJ Masters up ahead in the Mustang is going to try and get around his outside. Schell's defending the inside. I tried to sneak down the inside of Masters as well there, but I couldn't get the move done. While we've got a bit of time, let's take a look at that start incident then. Huge shunt just behind me. I got very, very lucky not to get collected in that, and at the centre of it was Nuno Barbosa, who, look, we're going to see from his on board now, he essentially is waiting for a signal that it's time to get going. The driver up ahead of him gets caught out, a driver on his left gets a much faster start. In the end, they all come together. I've got to say, I do have some sympathy with drivers in the pack there. Not an easy situation to navigate, but for now, we've rejoined the live action on lap 1, and we're on the back straight here, getting towards the end of the first lap, and I've got a good run on JJ Masters up ahead. There is a driver that looks to be running slow in the Porsche up ahead of him. He's now vying for position, so we're weaving left to right to just get some visibility here, and JJ Masters is going to overcook it into Sunset, the final corner of the lap. I'm going to try and stay out of the rear wing of that Porsche driver's peeling into the pits. Maybe there's been an incident in the final corner there. For now, I'm just concentrating on the fact that I am closing rapidly on the pack of cars up ahead. I take to the outside, hope that I'm going to be given space, and thankfully I am as we get into T1 on lap 2. But oh, there's been a spin up ahead. One driver round towards the right hand side there. I had to slam on the brakes, and unfortunately I'm going to get swallowed up by the drivers behind, and we've lost all of the places that we gained on that opening lap, and I've still got Nolan down my inside. He's going to take the position there, and we're right the way back to where we started. I can't believe it. I thought we'd capitalised nicely on the carnage of the opening lap, but unfortunately we've been relegated back to where we started this race. And actually, heading into the hairpin, I'm going to get challenged again. A bit of a lunge down my inside. We're going to be side by side on corner X, and I'm going to try and defend this one, but you can see we're still side by side, and I know now in the cockpit the next big braking zone I'm going to be stuck on the outside of this corner. I don't want to lose too much speed fighting this if I can't hold the car around the outside, and unfortunately I've got to concede the position. So a pretty disastrous lap 2 after a fairly encouraging lap 1, and we're going to try and challenge back straight away here, but I'm just not close enough. You need to be alongside really in order to try and challenge into corners like that. Here we go then. What played out there? Marco Pamperin in P3. This is the end of lap 1. He's the guy who gets the big slide on, and he very nearly collects some of the drivers behind him. That's Otto Johansson, who takes brilliant avoiding action to avoid a much, much bigger crash. That all played out ahead of us. It promoted me up the field, but it was Oliver Elson in P6 who would get a big slide on. That meant I had to hit the brakes, and I lost all kinds of positions, including to Kerry Nolan Jr. here as he gets down my inside. I'm highlighting Nolan here because this is going to be a battle that endures throughout the race. This is where he sneaks ahead of me on lap 2, and unfortunately, because I couldn't defend that, it puts me on the back foot heading into the middle part of this race. And so we rejoin the live action on lap 4, and you can see I've just lost a few tenths of a second to the pack of cars up ahead, but we're going to pop up the TV camera and look at JJ Masters, who's coming under challenge here into the hairpin, and unfortunately he's going to come together with another driver and be spun out onto the grass there. So that's one position back, as he unfortunately paid the price there for going side by side into the hairpin, and what that's done has closed the pack up together again. Look up ahead, it's 2 by 2 heading into this very tricky right-hander here, as the car feels very loose coming through the corner and on exit, and you've got to really nurse the car through the corner while trying to carry as much speed as possible while racing in the pack. I promise you it's not easy, at least I'm not finding it easy in this race here at Sebring. You can see we've managed to stay relatively close together with the pack of cars up ahead, everybody jostling for position on lap 4 here. Again, get the car down into third gear, ready for this very technical section before the back straight. Got to try and carry as much speed as we can onto this long back straight, try and get in the toe and carry as much momentum as possible into the final corner of this lap. We are right within the slipstream of the driver up ahead here, but I'm not sure we're going to be close enough to make a move. Again, I'm just looking to the inside there to get some visibility as to what's going on into sunset here. We take a slightly narrower line into the corner. The driver up ahead chops back across there on his racing line, and actually by the evidence of that, it looks like he had the quicker line through that corner there, and unfortunately I'm not able to make any impression on him through the final corner of the lap. We're into lap 5 then, and up ahead you can see Nolan gets out of shape. That then is going to give me an opportunity potentially to sneak past as well. He's under attack here, heading into the braking zone. I'm going to try and follow the driver up ahead through, but I just couldn't get close enough, and unfortunately for me, I couldn't take advantage of that small error. But that is a crucial part of the track where we're seeing drivers really struggling for grip, and as we get forward onto lap 6, you can see I've closed right in underneath the rear wing of Nolan here, and I'm hoping to challenge for position and start making up some more positions towards the top 10 here in this race. We're getting into the middle section of the race now. I've got to try and start making some of this underlying pace that I feel like I've got count. The big challenge I'm facing in this race is delivering that pace consistently. I'm finding the track super slippery, super bumpy, and therefore just getting confidence in the car to push just a little bit harder. You can see through that middle sector there, I've lost time on Nolan because I'm just being a bit tentative, more tentative than the drivers around me. That time comes back to me through this final sector of the lap, and I'm pretty competitive in sector 1 as well. So I know where I'm losing the time, I know I've got more speed in hand, but it's just whether I can consistently deliver it without binning the car, because we've already seen drivers lose the car under traction, and I don't want to be in that situation either. We're not really close enough here, heading towards sunset to make any kind of move, but at least I've got a bit of space. I can see what's going on up ahead of me here, so that I'm not likely to get caught in any accidents. Again, other drivers going deeper on entry and then potentially getting on the gas earlier. I think I need to learn from that for future trips to Sebring. For now, we cross the start-finish line onto lap 7, but look up ahead here through T1 and you'll see exactly what I mean about the grip levels here at Sebring, as Hendrik Stoltenbecker is out of contention. He slides the car on the exit of T1. We've seen other drivers do that so far in this race, and I'm going to capitalise on that, and it's exactly what I've been concerned about, just pushing marginally too hard and losing the car. We're on to lap 8, and talking of losing the car, another driver's out. That's Hill off to the right hand side. Unfortunately, I can't show you what happened to Hill because his connection was so poor, but we're on to lap 9 now, and that has promoted us up into P9 in this race. We're going to pop the TV camera up because the drama hasn't finished. A huge shunt for P3 in this race means the yellow flags are out as we get into sunset here, ready to start the final lap of this race. That is going to bring the pack closer together with one more lap to go here. This is going to be a dramatic final lap, and just as we're getting towards the end of this race, I am finding my pace. Look at that, the lap comparison over the last few times around. You can see I've just set my quickest lap of the session at 2:01.8. Yes, that's 8 tenths shy of the fastest driver on track, but actually it's a very competitive time compared to the rest of this field. So we've closed just a little bit in here on Nolan up ahead. There are more drivers up ahead as well, including a back marker that could be in the mix here on the final lap. Unfortunately, I didn't really hook up sector 1 there. That might cost me here as we get towards the hairpin for the final time. But look at this, the back marker is going to come into play here. Unfortunately, I just can't get round them. He has inadvertently allowed me to get slightly closer to Nolan up ahead, but will he let me past here in a safe position as we head towards the next braking zone? Yes, he does. Thank you very much. We're into the braking zone there, nice and easily on the racing line, but unfortunately, as it panned out, I just couldn't get close enough to Nolan on this final lap. There was no more drama up ahead, and we're going to have to settle for P9. But I've got to say, compared to where we started, given the drama that unfolded in the race and the time we lost avoiding other people's incidents, I'm pretty happy with P9. And I think I'm happiest of all with the fact that, yes, I've got a small bump to my I rating, but actually I came home with 0x in a race where lots and lots of drivers struggled to keep the car on track. I've got to say, I've really enjoyed this trip to Sebring this week. It's not a track that I know particularly well. I haven't got lots of experience of racing here, and it presents a really enjoyable but pretty tough challenge. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. If you have, I think you'll really enjoy some of the videos on screen now.